Watford are offering fans the chance to buy shares in the club in a bid to raise money for transfers. This despite boasting a pre-tax profit of £24.1 million, which is actually the highest in the EFL. Approximately 10% of the club is on offer at a value of £17.5 million. Now, the price per share has been set at £12.44. The minimum investment is 4 shares, totalling £49.76. Watford say fan shareholders will not have any say in club matters, though. So let's get some live reaction to this now from Mark Parkin from the Watford podcast from the Rookery End. Good to see you. First of all, what's your reaction to this then?
Hi, Vicky. Well, I think there's probably two sides to the story, two sides to how supporters are feeling. I think on one hand, football supporters have an inherent desire to get involved with their club and to help out if it was necessary. And on the face of it, this offers just that. And there's a slightly romantic notion, isn't there, that if you're investing in the club, and Watford have said in the FAQs that have come out this afternoon that the money is going to be used to improve the club, and there's a slightly romantic notion that your money could be used to buy the striker that scores the winning goal to get your club promoted back into the Premier League. So on the face of it, there's that side of things, but on the other side, there could be a slightly more cynical take, which is the club haven't really done that well with their recent transfer activity. It's been a disappointing couple of seasons at Vicarage Road, and the jury is starting to be to sway a little bit towards the owner, and I think it might be seen as a bit of a referendum on him, how much Watford supporters are actually prepared to put in to dip their hands into their own pockets to support the club. So two sides to the argument, really, Vicky, and it'd be interesting to see how much money is raised. I did have a quick look early, and it looked like there's around $300,000 which had been pledged already. So off to a decent start. I don't know what we could get for $300,000 in the summer transfer window, though.
Well, you speak about that and the romance. Is that where you want the money to be invested if they do raise this funds? Is it in recruitment?
I think if you're a supporter, look, there's two ways of looking at it. Again, the romantic way is to think that your money is going to go towards player investment, and you get to see the benefits of that investment on the pitch. Ultimately, as supporters, you want to see your team doing well, playing entertaining football on the pitch. So it'd be nice to think that the money would go towards transfers. But obviously, there is a slight question as to if Watford, you mentioned the profits figure, which on the face of it sounds healthy, but if Watford are going to the supporters for help, is there a little bit of trouble in raising money and raising finance? There have been sort of rumours of potential investments swirling around for a little while now at Vicarage Road. Nothing's really come to pass. And I think some supporters might be scratching their head thinking, well, none of that investment from external sort of traditional methods has come to pass. Now they're reaching out to the supporters. So, but that again does lean into the romance side of things, because if the club is struggling, as supporters, ultimately we always do what we can to support. So lots of sort of unanswered questions. It might have raised more questions than perhaps we thought to start with.
Yeah, well, one question has certainly been answered. The fact that they won't have any rights on how the club is run. Do you think that's fair if you're going to invest in your club? Should they have a little bit of say in it?
I think there is an element of that, yeah. If you're serious about having fan investment and fan involvement on a financial level, let's not forget these are tough times financially. So if you are going to go out to supporters and ask for that investment, then potentially there should be slightly more involvement. How likely that is and how feasible that is. You mentioned the minimum amounts. You're not talking about huge amounts of money. I think it's £50 for your minimum investment, and if a lot of people did that would be good. It would raise some money for the club. But of course, that's more voices into the pot. So I think it does open up an interesting question about fan involvement on boards going forward. There's a wider discussion about the governance of the game and looking after the game going on at the moment. And I think perhaps moving forward, more fan involvement at board level is something that should be investigated properly. But yeah, it doesn't feel like at this stage, it feels like a smaller level investment opportunity to just raise some money over the summer, basically. So yeah, it's an interesting one for sure.
It certainly is, Mike. Just finally, looking ahead to next season, I guess you're hopeful for a better season this time around. How well do you think you're going to do under Tom Cleverley for this season?
I think you've mentioned Tom Cleverley there, and I think he's the name that's giving us hope as supporters at the moment. Vicky, towards the tail end of last year, he came in and you could see the change in the team's performances. He obviously has the respect of the squad that was there at Watford. The performances did improve pretty dramatically under Tom. And what you'd like to think is, of course, he's a big name in the game. He's got good contact, and hopefully the Championship is where people play the loan game very well, and hopefully he'll be able to leverage his contacts to perhaps get a few loans in, and players might want to come and play for Watford now that Tom Cleverley's there with his history and his pedigree in the game. So we're just hopeful for an upturn in fortunes. It's been a really disappointing last couple of seasons in the Championship, and hopefully with a bit more money from Watford supporters and Tom Cleverley at the helm, we can have more fun next season.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. Thank you very much, Mike.
Cheers, Vicky. Thank you.